Easter is apparently soon coming up, and this is why they made the Frigola Milkshake limited edition version. But anyway, in today's video, book lovers of the internet, I am going to be speaking about my sixth day of teaching practice. I have already concluded the first day of my second week of 5 weeks of teaching practice, and I feel as though this week has a lot of potential because I've already seen some huge improvements over the last week, and some of them have also been pointed out to me. I taught two lessons today, one language one and one literature one with the grade 8s, and overall, I think the literature one went very well. It was the very first lesson of the day. The kids were all paying attention, and it really helped that my mentor was there as well because she could occasionally go about class and tell the others to stop interrupting, but this only happened minimally because they fear her quite a lot. She's an amazing teacher and she has brilliant classroom management. So um, that was a very, very pleasant class to teach. And the poem we are doing is also rather thought provoking. It's called Alien Elegy. I have a copy of it right here to show you guys. And it's by Mike Johnson. I started the lesson off by asking the students whether they know what aliens are, and they of course all did, nothing surprising there. And then I asked them to tell me some of the theories they have with regard to where aliens come from. They were all very, very invested in the lesson, and they were all spending a lot of time chatting with each other because I gave them a lot of discussion tasks pertaining to the topic. We then moved on to what an elegy is, and some of them really didn't know what it meant, so I had to go through the motions of eliciting the meaning. I also taught them the word evocative, which has to do with something that makes you feel a lot of emotions. And I gave them that word before giving them the definition by writing down the letters on the board and trying to get them to guess what it was. They didn't really know, so I had to eventually write it all down and then explain it. And towards the end of the lesson, when I asked what they learned and what is most memorable, they mentioned the vocabulary that I taught them, which was very pleasant to hear because it's always lovely feedback when students tell you that something that's memorable from your lesson is the vocabulary you taught them. That is the whole point of language, to be able to express yourself better. So I think that was a very, very good sign. In certain cases, I think I wasn't, I didn't structure the lesson well enough. I wasn't systematic as much as I could have been. And that is because the printer at the school I am working at refuses to print my lesson plans, and I have to follow them on my phone, which is a complete pain, and I don't always get to finish everything that you can see on the that can be found on the lesson plans. And sometimes the lesson also derails from the lesson plan because I try to follow whatever I think the students need and get all the feedback I can from the students because at the end of the day, they are the center of my focus. They're the people who need to learn the most. It's not about my teaching, it's about their learning at the end of the day. And if they're not learning, it's pointless following a lesson plan to the letter um, just to say that you managed to move on. So there are some instructions I have to follow, which are of course given to me by university, and I can totally respect that. But at the same time, I have to keep the students, what little I know of the students, in mind as well, because 5 weeks is a long time, and a lot can be learned in over the course of 5 weeks. With the language lesson, I taught prefixes today, and rather than just explaining prefixes and giving the definitions, that was all done by the book anyway, I had some prefixes on the interactive whiteboard and I asked them to come up with different examples. of words which use the prefixes on the board, and there were some very, very useful ones, which I then discussed with the others. I cross-checked. I never really gave any input myself because that is the main point of having a student-centered lesson. The teacher doesn't really say anything and listens to what the students have to say, and apparently as much as possible, I am expected to get the students to teach each other because that is how they learn best. That is how communication happens most authentically, which is something I really need to keep in mind because, as you might know from watching my YouTube videos, I do enjoy yapping sometimes and I do love the sound of my own voice. But then again, the students tell me that they love my lessons, and without my voice, there wouldn't be any lessons. So they're basically saying that they love the way my voice sounds as well, that it is soothing. I mean, they clapped for me last Friday because of how well they thought I did during my first week after I asked for feedback. Um, I don't know why they would try to be um, kiss asses or teachers' pets because at the end of the day, I'm not really giving them any grades which matter, so they don't really have to be respectful of me at all, but they totally are because I think I exude a very calm aura and a very understanding one as well, and I can match anyone's vibe quite well, quite evenly, I would say, and I think that is a lovely trait to have as a teacher because when someone gives you attitude, you can give it straight back. When somebody is not understanding something, you can be patient and explain it well. Um, I tend to be a very calm person. I do have a habit of taking the path of least resistance as well, but during these weeks, I don't think I will be able to do that. There has to be some more effort put into my work. Um, from my end, of course, and I don't want to let the students down. It's less about what university thinks and more about what the students think of me, so I don't want to let them down, and that is why I mainly wish to continue putting in more effort as the weeks go by. In fact, later on, I am even going to create a PowerPoint from scratch to teach the grade 9s better. We're doing a literature lesson tomorrow, and I hope they enjoy it as much as they possibly can because it's a good poem. We're going to continue doing Night Mail by W.H. Auden. There are just a couple more things. So I spent a lot of time in the staff room working on lesson plans today and reading A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. Honestly, I should soon be done with this, so you should see a review of this on my channel in the next couple of days, hopefully. Because it's been a while since I last made a book review on the channel, and I do not want to fall behind in that respect. And I even found the time to visit the library at the school where I am working at the moment, where I borrowed Misery by Stephen King. It's a lovely copy in hardback, and it even has this very strange picture of the guy at the back, which just makes it that much better. And I also borrowed two teachers' books, which will be very helpful when it comes to planning future lessons because there are even the answers I can um, totally use when teaching. And there is also this grocery store very close to the school, which makes a great egg and cheese toast. I would highly recommend it if I could tell you where the school is. Um, I don't think I can for anonymity reasons, but yeah, brilliant place, and I have visited it every single day since I started teaching practice, and I have also been going almost every week since the start of the year during my observations. So I know this is all pointless because I can't tell you where it is, but um, if the guy is watching the channel, I would like to thank him personally for making some of the best egg and cheese toasts I've ever had, probably. So yeah, now that is all I had to say for day 6 of teaching practice. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Take a look at the rest of my content because why not? It's absolutely amazing. And I'll see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.